I, for one, say it's about time. And if you're mad, try getting a job. How about that? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the federal moratorium on evictions coming to an end as of yesterday, which was Sunday, August the 1st, 2021. Now, what does this mean? Well, the moratorium on evictions meant that if a tenant in a house or an apartment was not paying their rent, then they couldn't legally be evicted. There are certain little, I guess, exceptions to the rule. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but generally you couldn't be evicted. So if you're in the house, you're there for, 6 months, 8 months, maybe even 12 months, you're not paying your rent, you're good to go. They're not going to kick you out of your home. Now, this is causing a lot of problems for a variety of reasons. What the obvious reason is the landlords. What about them? Because it's not just these big multinational corporations. They got endless money. You're talking about regular people that may own a house. Like, let's say, regular guy, regular Joe Schmo, him and his wife, or him by himself, or the lady by herself. They have a house and they rent it out to somebody for a small amount of money, $500 a month, right? And they need that money to not only take care of maintenance of the home, basic things, if they do lawn care, whatever the case may be, but also the mortgage is the most important thing. Now, what a federal moratorium is happening, the landlords still must pay all these bills that would normally come from the tenant. They got to pay all the mortgage, everything. They still got to pay that. Now, there is relief money available for the tenant and the landlord. However, tenants get priority. And the programs are different depending upon where you live. A prime example in DeKalb County, Georgia, which is like Atlanta area. In DeKalb County, up until like the past few days, the deal was this. The tenants could stay there regardless. And some of the federal money was put into this program that gave the landlord 60% of the past due rent. Only 60%. So the remaining 40%, if you need that, well, is pretty much tough luck. The deal was this. Take 60% from the federales, try to get the remaining 40 from the tenant, or just call it a day. And if you take the 60%, you got to scratch the debt. You got to just say, okay, that's it. I'm going to take the 60% and it's done. That's what the deal was. Now in DeKalb County, they increased it to 100%. But that's not always the case throughout most of the country. Most of the country, you're pretty much out of luck. If you're a landlord, well, forget you. If you have investment properties, rental properties or whatever, oh, well, you're not going to get your money. And the thing is, a lot of people on the left, the AOCs of the world, they want to defend, the eviction moratoriums, saying we need it for longer because the scandemic, pandemic is still going on. People can't find work. It's totally bogus. First of all, there are jobs everywhere. Wherever you live, I don't care, in any part of the country, you're going to see help wanted signs everywhere. You know what I see out here in Tennessee? I see somebody outside begging with a sign talking about, we'll work for food. I need some gas to get to X, Y, and Z place. They'll be at a shopping center where they know they can get a bunch of money from panhandling. And it'll be a cornucopia, a sea, if you will, a bevy of signs that are behind them that say help wanted everywhere. And it's so bad. You could walk into any store. You could have felonies on your record, drug felonies. It don't matter. You can go in there and get a job immediately. Getting paid high amounts of money, higher than normal, because they're so desperate to get people in the door. Now, of course, you have inflation going on as a result of the higher wages, because the only way for them to be able to pay the higher wages is to cut down on quality on certain things, to raise prices on other things. But it's okay, right? Because you get paid $15 an hour. It doesn't matter if the 15 has the same effectiveness as the 725. It's irrelevant because you're still getting paid more, right? But different story. I digress. The whole point is that there are help wanted signs everywhere. People just don't want to work. Why would you want to work? You're not going to get evicted. And the crazy part is that a lot of people who are getting evicted are already on Section 8. And if you don't know what that is, Section 8 is a government program that's been around for many, many, many years, long before this virus situation. And the government will pay the majority, if not all, of your rent. I think like 80% of your rent they pay. So you could live pretty much anywhere. Let's just say the rent is $1,000. You're only liable for $200. People are not paying the $200 when they're already on Section 8. Okay, let alone the entire rent without any kind of government intervention before this pandemic was going on. And there's no excuse because, like I said, there are help wanted signs everywhere. You can get a job wherever you want, and you're still getting unemployment insurance. Some states have stopped the federal unemployment insurance, but I think some states still have it. You have state unemployment, federal unemployment. You have the stimulus checks, earned income tax credit. Or, if you got a bunch of kids, you're getting paid for that. People are getting a bunch of money for doing nothing. Thousands of dollars per month for absolutely nothing. The money they get is the equivalent to a job paying $25, $30 an hour, which is why when they say 5 for 15, if you paid more, you might be able to get more employees to come to your door. That's not true. Why would somebody work for $15 an hour or $20 an hour, working their fingers to the bone, working very hard? Why would they do that when they could stay at home, do nothing, and get paid more? From all the benefits added together, Section 8, WIC, EBT, TANF, unemployment, stimulus, federal unemployment, all these things combined together makes for a person who has all the incentive in the world to just not work and stay home. That's what's happening. And like I said from the beginning, there is a way out for the landlord. I mean, the landlord's going to have a hard time. He's not going to get all these benefits. He'll get something maybe, but for the most part, he's pretty much getting short end of the stick. But there's a way out. If the landlord sells their property, then they can evict the tenant. You see what I'm saying? Because it's their property, they own it. You live there as a tenant, but you don't own it. So if I sell it, the tenant is not going to be part of that necessarily. You understand what I'm saying? So they could be evicted that way. Now, who's going to be a big beneficiary of this whole process of landlords being overwhelmed up to the eyeballs or beyond, drowning in debt? Who's going to be a big beneficiary of that? I don't know, maybe a multinational corporation that has roots in the U.S., roots in China, called BlackRock. Have you been hearing about them? They're gobbling up properties all over the country. Now, what's their end goal? Well, of course, have a big real estate portfolio. That's the main thing. But they want to be your renter. They don't want to buy the property and sell it to you. They want to rent it to you. And they want that to be the model going forward. So you don't own anything. You'll just be a renter. You'll own nothing and be happy. That same thing is kind of happening right now in California. Maybe not necessarily from the BlackRock perspective. Probably so. But it's to the point in California where trying to buy a house is a dream. To live in a ghetto in California, like if you're living in Compton, Watts, place like that in Los Angeles, are you paying $400,000 for a 1,000 square foot house with bars in the windows? Okay, that's how bad it is. And when you go inside of this $500,000 home with bars in the windows, it's like a Cracker Jack box size. You're gonna have all types of rodents and wiring is messed up. It's going to be kind of an abandoned home, what they call a bando, as the cool kids would say, a bando, for $500,000. That's unaffordable. And you're going to see that same type of thing happen all over the country. You're going to have the inventory of homes go down, but the prices go up, and you're not even going to be able to buy. You got to rent. So BlackRock, other big real estate conglomerates, they'll be able to make out pretty well because they're preying on the desperation of the landlord who have no other choice. They're not getting money from the federales, not getting money from the tenant. What are they going to do? I'm going to offload this liability to this company that'll take it from me. Will you get full market price value? I don't know, maybe, but probably not. You're just glad to be free from the debt that's crushing you because there's a eviction moratorium. How about a mortgage moratorium? How about a utility moratorium, a grass cutting, a landscaping moratorium, a gas moratorium, a water. You see what I'm saying? These bills still must be paid. And it's no excuse from the tenant. You got all these programs that exist, all this money that's out there. You know what's happening as I close? Rather than paying rent, these tenants, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're just living their best life, going on vacation. I'm seeing some of the ghettoists, if that's the word, people, fresh tattoos, cars, jewelry, all that stuff. You know why there's all these fights on the airplane? People are getting their teeth knocked out, and you having the flight attendants go to self-defense school. It's because a lot of these low-class people never been anywhere. They want to get on the plane and do what they do in the hood all day. Never had any money. It don't really need to be on the plane, but they have all this money. They're not paying rent. They have no responsibilities. You know, they might have kids. Maybe they don't. Grandma take care of the kids. They could go do whatever they want, act a fool on the airplane. Eliminate this gigantic welfare state expansion, and all these issues will magically just fade away. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the eviction moratorium? Should it still be on the books? Should it not be on the books? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at with it. I am no fan of the welfare state. Big government's gotten too big. And you know one thing about big government? Once they have a foothold into your life, now they can control you. Now they can just make you do whatever they want you to do. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I like my freedom. I like not being a serf or peasant or a peon that is controlled by the government. That's just me, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.